Yo, 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 testing, testing, camera. Yo, testing, testing. Someone leave a comment if you can hear me. Camera issues this today. Can y'all see me? All right, cool. Now we're back. All right. Can't see, can hear. Philip, we good to go now? You see me, Philip? We should be good to go. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the retweets already. Shout outs to Night Fox. Shout outs to Choi. And shout outs to Props.cash. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate all the retweets. We'll let a few more people pop in here. Then we'll get right into it. Pretty good day yesterday. Wish we could have cashed the full ladder, but I digress. All right. Share screen. Props.cash. Share. We'll get into the NFL first. And then I do have Twitch and YouTube links down below if you want to watch it there as well. Might be having some issues with internet here. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, let's get right into it. As always, yo, what's up, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the Sharp Side. A little bit late getting into it today. I appreciate y'all tapping in. As always, we will recap yesterday first. 4-2 on straights in the NFL. We did miss the ladder, making it 4-3 technically. We cashed Rodgers very late, 2+ touchdowns. Alvin Kamara over 19.5 receiving yards, finished with 25, I believe. We missed Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. He finished, I don't even know if he hit the rushing yards or the anytime touchdown. Anyway, Saquon finally had his big day. Took up all of those carries. Although Jalen did have a red zone rush attempt, I thought we had life there, but I digress. Chase, we cashed the straight line. We missed the ladder of 100+. He finished with 91, and then we cashed on James Cook. Cash all bumps on James Cook. We should have laddered Cook opposed to laddering Jamar Chase. In the NBA, 2-0, bringing us up to like 9.15 units of profit in the season. We had Norman Powell over 20.5, 21.5, all bumps cashed. He finished with 29. And then Shea under 7.5 assists. Or was that? No, yesterday it was Cade under 27.5 points. Shea's assist was the day before. Also looking at it today. So 2-0 there. Really strong start to the NBA. I've not been forcing it. And I wouldn't expect a bunch of volume today either, but we're still going to be getting after it. Nothing official in the NBA. I do have one play ready to go in the NFL. This one has got a lot of engagement, so I appreciate everybody, all the support, all the likes, all the retweets on that. It's going to be Travis Kelce over 39.5 receiving yards. This line was 40.5 some spots, but basically every book was carrying a 40 plus. So 41.5. I'm sure there's still 41.5s available, probably somewhere around minus 120. Might be wanting to blame me a little bit for this movement, though. Like I said, a bunch of engagement, like 80 something. I forgot they don't have the alt lines here. Hold on, something from Shams. Officially 400 likes on that. I appreciate y'all for real. The NBA has informed 30 teams that the league has begun process of reviewing policies regarding injury reporting, training, and the education of personnel, and enhancing internal and external monitoring programs to identify betting activity of concern, per memo obtained by ESPN. Okay, interesting. Anyways, still like Kelce up to 40 plus. If you have to play the 40-41, I think that's fine. I have him around 49. And I really think he's good for 50 plus. I know Rashee Rice is back, but I think that just improved the quality of targets Kelce had last game. You can see in just 3 receptions, he recorded 54 yards. And even though Kansas City comes into this game as about an 11-point favorite, they don't scare me as much as some other teams do when it comes to throwing the ball with the lead. Now, they may not take as many deep shots, but Mahomes has proven over and over and time again that he is happy to throw the ball to Kelce on those 3rd and shorts, no matter what the score is. And when you look at Washington's defense, they've really struggled at yards within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, passes, I should say. Kelce's getting about 55% of his receptions there, and then they've not been so good behind the line of scrimmage, and he's factoring in maybe another 10 or 15% there. He's caught a few screens this year that have done well. So keep that in mind when you're looking at Kelce here. I don't think it's going to be the big explosive play. Storch, I have to talk about this. Storch and I took a play last night, rollover, Aaron Rodgers over 219.5 and 2 touchdowns as a Caesars boost. Action records it as 221 for Rodgers. Caesars records it as 219, and we missed that bet last night. Then we lost Justin Jefferson 79.5 there a few weeks ago as well. It's always peculiar for me when those lines fall a half a yard short of the betting line, because I feel like there's some discretion taken in those, and more people bet the overs than the unders. So yeah, those stung. But no, I love Kelce here. I don't think it's going to be close. I think he blows this one out of the water. I like this as a ladder potential too. I wish they had the alt lines for football. I know they have it for basketball. I like him up to 50 plus though. No issues with that for that one with me. All right, now let's just go through it how we normally do: passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns. Marcus Mariota getting the nod again. Terry McLaurin is back. Hard to get anything from this. Only 31% of the snaps versus Dallas. Mahomes, although this feels like an under spot with them as 11-point favorites, I definitely wouldn't attack the under here for obvious reasons. Like I said, similar to why I like Kelce's over. Kansas City is not afraid to throw the ball with the lead. So definitely not fading Mahomes here. Would lean over, actually, if I had to take a side, but luckily we don't have to bet this. All right, Mahomes lines at 22.5. Let's see how quarterbacks have done versus Washington this season. 7 out of Prescott, 60 out of Herb, 44 out of Russell Wilson in week 1 before he lost his job. Mahomes over in 3, 5 of 7. If you're going to play this, I would absolutely play the 20.5, but no real line or no real lean. My apologies. No real lean from me. But if you're going to play the over 20.5 at FanDuel, looks like the best line. I also generally don't like when FanDuel has the line I'm trying to bet into. So 22.5 under at DK if you're looking for that. I do not hate Mariota rushing yards here. Kansas City's defense, though, here we go. 7 from Goff, 54 from Lawrence, Lamar 48, Wilson 27. Was rushing the ball well in his first 2 weeks. Sucks what has happened to the Giants this year. Losing Neighbors, losing Cam Skattebo. That was the one I couldn't think of. The loss that we had, the other loss was Cam Skattebo over 76.5 rushing receiving. He had like 40 when he went out of the game early. We were pacing well, 8 minutes left in the second. Thoughts and prayers to him. That ankle injury looked not only just painful in the moment, but a painful recovery. So can't wait to see him dominating the field again next year. But that's who I forgot, Cam Skattebo, over his rushing and receiving. All right. I lean over Marcus Mariota rushing yards, but it's not anything that I'm going to be attacking off rip. Pacheco, 56% snap share. Hunt, 19% snap share. It feels like when Hunt's in the game, though, you know they're going to be running the ball. No real leans on either of these. I'm assuming you're going to mean Mahomes here. I don't think Kelsey has a rushing attempts line. You know, I don't hate this either, Storage. Honestly, I would probably lean his attempts over. I would lean his attempts over his yards if I had to go with one. I would lean his attempts over his yards. I don't hate a Kareem Hunt. A couple goal line opportunities. I don't hate a Kareem Hunt over his rushing attempts line at 5.5 either. You can see, I mean, his snap share's gone down, but if they are into that 11-point game, wouldn't surprise me. JCM, hard for me to spot what he's going to do. He's had some really spectacular games, some really not so good games. Now backup quarterback. Terry's back. Does that help a little bit? Possibly. Relieving some pressure over the top. I just have no real feelings. And again, I'm not going to force. We're going to have another profitable week. That's 3 straight profitable weeks in the NFL after starting the season kind of rocky back and forth. Let's just keep our profitability streak rolling here. Let's moving on to receiving yards. Debo at 44.5 is interesting to me. You see him and Mariota had that podcast, sit down, whatever you want to call it. Debo caught his Mariota's 100th touchdown, so that's kind of interesting. I lean Debo overs here. Again, Terry's back. They haven't played a lot of games together this season. Is he even on the report? He's not even on the report. Played 3 games. That first game, I don't remember if Terry got hurt in this. No, because Terry played the second game. 77, 44, and then 11, but Debo did get hurt in this game. Not a lot of data there, man. I mean, 40 plus, I'm probably interested. 50, I'm probably under. So I feel like this line's pretty efficient. Maybe that 42.5 is tempting, but I think this line's pretty efficient. Still trying to figure out how to best use props.cash for the NFL. I think the best use case for it is when you can spot volume. Like Travis Kelce tonight, I think it's like a 4 or 5 plus target kind of night. So we'll just go to him specifically. You want to see his games with I think that would be fair. 4 to 6, 4 to 7 targets. And this is a good way, I think, to spot a good way to use props.cash. Same volume. It's kind of all volume based for me. Like, even if you wanted to look at JCM, his line's at 13.5. You say, okay, what is his average at 11 plus? Maybe not the best example because there's been some different quarterbacks in here and things of that nature. But a lot of use cases for props.cash and me is volume. And then seeing the averages. It's not even about these charts for me. It's averages, medians. How did they perform when they met that target? So yeah, that's how I use it. I'm not betting a Mahomes under. As I spoke on earlier, they are just willing to throw the ball with a lead. So that scares me off of anything under on Mahomes. All right, moving on. I think I saw a couple Xavier Worthy longest receptions from some pretty smart people. Looks like FanDuel's still at that 19.5 number. I think what goes into this is a mixture of coverage and a mixture of Rashee Rice really opening it up for everybody else in this offense. the attention's going to be there. You can see we'll get to Rice. He had 4 red zone targets last week. I mean, how many targets did he have in general? He had 10 targets last week, 7 receptions. I think his volume still stays very high. He only had 42 yards in those receptions. What's his receptions line this week? So, Buzzy, I think this would be a really good use case here. Line's at 6.5. Maybe that line's a little high considering this game should be competitive. So you look at his last 20 games with 7 or more receptions. Maybe 14's a little bit of an outlier. You could go to like 7 and 10. Over in, what is this? 7 of his last 9, averaging 7.2. I think that's a good use case for a player here. I lean over Rice. The game script I don't love. I would lean over his receptions versus yards. You can see here on the screen when he gets 7 or more targets, that's 7 to 11, not just 7 or more. He had 10 targets for 8 receptions in that first game. I do think he's going to get a lot of targets again tonight, so I would lean over there. I even think this 5.5, 150 could be a pretty good parlay piece. Pardon me. Another thing, Buzzy, that can be good is snap percentage. If you got a running back, let's say that Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, let's say one of those 2 guys in particular gets injured again, and now their snap share is going to go way up again. Now you can go say, okay, when they've played 60+% of the snaps opposed to a near 50-50 split, that's another good use case for it, just looking through here. That's a long-winded me to say I lean over Rashee Rice receptions. Nothing official, though, for me there. Kelsey, I spoke on. I'm not mad at her receptions here. But I even said in my write-up, I lean the yards because I think his volume could go down slightly. I still think he's going to be 3, 4, 5, somewhere there in targets. There are some DFS sites that hang target lines. 5.5. Okay, I'm really comfortable with him at even 5+ targets on this line. His reception specifically. I know that line reflects that, obviously there can be unders as well. So let's go like 5 to 8, 5 to 7. Over in 3 or 4 this year. It's going to be a small sample size. That's the issue you can run into. Over in 3 is 6, though. And 3 of the last 6, those 3 more recent. So, yeah, I love Kelsey's overs. Seen some people on B. Smith over 15.5. This is why he's a rookie. Yeah, he's a rookie. This is why Kareem Hunt's snap shares plummeted. 15.5. 9.5 on the rush. Receptions. Let me go to the mobile app. I do want to see what Washington ranks in receptions allowed to running backs per game. I'm interested in that. Appreciate you, Prop, for like. Appreciate you, brother. Help me grow the brand. Help me grow the page. I appreciate you. Props.cash mobile app. I'm hoping this is coming to desktop soon, but for now, we'll keep going mobile. Moneybag Tone, appreciate you tapping in this morning, bro. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the like. Appreciate the retweet. All right, they're 8th in, or no, I'm sorry, they're 12th in receptions allowed, but 6th in receptions allowed to running backs. What about yards? Yeah, see, the yards are better. They're 28th in yards allowed. Yo, good morning, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. I'm not mad at anything, Brashard Smith. I would lean over the yards. Versus receptions. They've allowed a lot of chunk plays to running backs. What's that reception long line? They don't have one up yet. They got a rushing long. Anything over like a 9.5, though, I think I'd be interested in. Yeah, I'm not mad at anything Brashard Smith over here. Hollywood Brown, I think he had a good bit of 33% snaps, 1 red zone target. Still had 4 targets last week. I don't know. I talked about Mahomes' rush yards. I'm not mad at his rush yards over or his rushing attempts over. Yards 20.5 at FanDuel. Attempts were 4.5. I think about painted. Smith rushing and receiving. Let's see how his snap share has gone up every week. It's gone 35% last week. Huge. I don't hate it, Storch. Y'all know I'm not big into betting rooks. The difference is with like Kansas City rookies, you see them every week. They're on TV every week. Last week, 14 rushing attempts and 5 targets. Biggest reason I'm staying off of this one, Storch, is it's hard for me to place the usage for him today. I don't know what his attempts are going to be. I don't know what his receptions are going to be. Seems to be some smart people that think he's going over. So I've got no transgressions to anyone betting his overs today. Just not me. Just not anything I'm attacking. Juju's line's at 12.5. He could obviously take one that far. He had 3 targets, caught all 3 of them last week. Went for 35 yards. I think he had a few yards after the catch. Yeah, I think that was on 1 catch, if I remember correctly. The other 2 he was pretty much brought down immediately. Parlay spot for the rook. I don't hate it. I just don't like rookies, you know. I mean, I could count on one hand how many rookies I've bet this season. Every time they're playing a team, it's the first time they played that team. The longer you get into the season, the more other teams I've seen them. I think that isn't true in this case, however. You've not seen a lot of snaps out of Brashard Smith. So this could be low-key. This could be one of those sneaky spots. Like you could maybe even ladder this one up if you've got the right feeling. But I'm not going to pretend that I do. It's not an official play for me, but I understand why certain people are on it. I definitely get it. No clue what to think about Debo here. I think Terry's going to have a much longer average depth of target. They're going to work Debo more underneath, screens, etc. Honestly, I spoke on liking his over 40.5 yards. Probably like his 4.5 receptions even more, just because they can get him involved with some gimmicky shit. And at the end of the day, I do expect Washington to be losing at half. I think the first half line's around 6.5 for Kansas City. I think that's fair. But then, whoever gets the ball coming out of the third, I just think there's a very plausible scenario where they're chasing 2 scores late and throwing the ball more and more and more. So I like Debo there. I don't hate Terry. I wonder what Terry's line is on receptions. 3.5. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yards, 45.5. So pretty close with Debo. I don't hate that. They're different players. These 19.5 hanging around FanDuel. Everybody can bet at FanDuel. That's kind of tempting to me. Out of everything Terry McLaurin related, I think they're going to take a few shots with Mariota tonight. I don't hate a scary Terry over 19.5 receiving yards. Yeah, that's probably my favorite lean for Terry there. We can get some anytime touchdown looks in. Mahomes has scored in 4 out of 7 this year. You're still able to lay a plus 300. I don't know what Washington's done in terms of allowed in running back or quarterback touchdowns, but I know how to check it. Oh, we can do it here too. Caleb got 1. That's all this season. What are they in rushing touchdowns in general? Passing touchdowns, they're 20th, so they're giving those up. Rushing touchdowns, 11. They've done fairly well. Mariota's scored in 1 of the 2 games he's finished. T-Law got 2. Hurts got 1. All good there. No, nothing there for me. No idea out of the Kansas City backfield who's going to get the tugs. I don't hate. All right, this is something I'm going to the mobile app for. See, the problem is Terry Rozier's missed so many games. What is he going to do to Zach Ertz and Debo Samuel's red zone targets? Obviously, he's going to affect it, but how bad is he going to affect it? Debo 4, Ertz 4. They're both leading the team. That's just sad. There are a lot of ones. It's spread out. Terry's got one this year in his 3 games. Debo's only got 1 red zone rush attempt on the year. Is that true? That was like week 1, wasn't it? I don't hate a Debo anytime Tutter. Looks like a 255 available at DraftKings. 260 available at FanDuel, actually. I don't hate this Debo anytime touchdown. They've allowed some big rushing touchdowns. Maybe Jacrosby Merritt becomes a candidate. I lean it. I'm not in love with it. I don't hate Kareem Hunt getting pushed in the end zone. I don't hate it. It's not something I love. No way that's the price on Kelsey. I'm not laying anything minus money on Kelsey, who's got 2 on the season. That's taxing on the tight end holiday. Ertz, I don't hate. He has 4 red zone targets as well. 270 at FanDuel. I do think Terry's going to come in and eat some of those red zone targets. Actually, I can check something. How are they allowing touchdowns over the center of the field? Yeah, pretty damn good at defending passing touchdown. I don't think I'm gonna have any touchdown looks in this one. Look, I'm not forcing anything. This 4-2 day Sunday. Now I will say, John, we spoke on Brashard Smith. I do not hate any overs for him. I'm not big into betting rookies. However, I do feel like this scenario is one of those scenarios where a guy's seeing his snap share increase. Maybe the books aren't as adjusted to what his line should be. And also other teams defensively may not be fully scouted on what he's capable of, especially if they weren't actively scouting him in college. So I think there's plus side there, a lot of plus side for Brashard Smith. Nothing official out of me, though, at this moment. JCM over his receiving yards, Storch says. I honestly thought his role in the passing game would go up a lot after the injury to Austin Eckler, but we just haven't seen that, Storch. I agree it could be a sneaky little play. One screen, he takes it. What do you have? 2 targets last week, 1 target the week before. Let me see how Kansas City. I think we spoke on Kansas City, or was it Washington? Very good in terms of receptions, pretty shitty in terms of yards. His longest reception is 3.5. That's hilarious. Second fewest receptions. Oh, no, that's long. Hold on. 18th in yards, 16th in receptions. I don't hate JCM overs either, Storch, but not something I'm running either. I think it's going to wrap it up for the NFL. We didn't talk about Rice touchdowns. There's something here to be said. That's fucking crazy. 4 red zone targets in 1 game, 2 tuds. I'm not laying minus 105, but red zone targets are there. Red zone targets are absolutely there. All right, looks like just the one straight bet in the NFL for tonight. I will probably have a lay or 2 with these boost books are given out. It is the Sports Equinox as well, so keep that in mind. 30 minutes in for the NFL. Now let's bang through these NBA games. First, we have Orlando and Philly. Embiid's out, McCain's out, George is out. Wendell Carter first up, 9, 10, and 8 in his first 3 games this season, 29, 31, 31. No leans out of me on his points. Drummond will assume be his starting matchup, 8, 8, and 13. We know Drummond is a beast on the boards. I don't know what kind of minutes we're going to get out of him. Let me see if I can get a projection. Okay, no, Adam Bona is starting there. Drummond will be off the bench. How many minutes did Drummond play last week? Or last game? Well, Embiid even played in that game, so this will be the first game without Embiid, right? Interested to see what kind of minutes Drummond logs tonight. But I'm not going to have anything points or rebounds wise. Just curious to see how he looks tonight. Maxey, so I went back and I watched some Orlando film this morning before the stream. I watched both their last game versus Chicago, how they defended Giddey, and then I went back and watched how they played Maxey last season. The last game last season, Paul George was in, but Joel Embiid was out. But they played it very similar to how they played Chicago either last night or the night before. They'll mix it up how they're going to attack you in the pick and roll. I really like attacking Maxey versus teams that play drop, but they did not play drop. Well, and the weird thing is every once in a while they play drop. Every once in a while they almost just double to the point where they let the big flare, let the guard get back and then recover. And every once in a while they'd switch. So Orlando mixed up how they played defensively a lot. And I'm unsure of how they're going to play Maxey. So no opinion on his points. I was thinking I would be leaning over this 27.5 number. If anything, though, when I looked into it further, it might be Maxey's assists that I'm more interested in. And again, I don't know that I'm even getting to the window in this. But the way Orlando defended him, now I think he still had like 19 field goal attempts, and that was with Paul George, who had 20. But I think he's going to be in the opportunity to set guys up for open shots, whether it's Kelly Olynyk, VJ Edgecombe, whoever it may be. I lean over his assists more than points after looking into it a little farther. But that being said, I'm not going to get to the window on points or assists here for Tyrese Maxey. Assists would be my stronger of the two leans after watching some of the Orlando Magic film. Suggs, you've seen his minutes increase. He was dealing with the injury coming into the season. I think he probably gives you like 22, 23 minutes tonight. I think we'll slowly see that start to climb. Over in both games, I don't think that just means it's an auto bet tonight. Now, he did play very well versus Philadelphia last season, but you see the minutes were up. I think he had a couple big 3 games. I don't hate his 3-point attempts look in this one, but just keep in mind he is still on a minutes limit, and that's why that line is as low as it is. Honestly, looking at his 2 lines, I'd probably lean over that 1.5 threes at plus money opposed to points, but nothing official. Tyus Jones will continue to see his minutes kind of stabilize as Jalen Suggs gets back. Listen to me, Jalen Hurts. Great piece for Orlando, though. Assists anytime Suggs is out will be something you can look at. But tonight, nothing for me, Tyus Jones. Paolo is one that was interesting to me. I like the under. I do like the under 24.5. Looks like some places have bumped the 23.5. Market's kind of back and forth. I do lean under this 23.5, but Philly is beat up. Wagner over points. We'll get to it. Philly's beat up. This line's only 5.5. That feels low to me as well. I feel like they should be more than a 5.5 point favorite versus Philadelphia. I think the game is in Philly, but yeah, I don't know. This one feels like it could get away from Philly to me, but I do lean under 24.5. I do lean under 24.5 there for Paolo Banchero. I think it's just going to be a lean. 11, 6, and 10 in his rebounds this season. Just 1 assist in 3 straight games. 7, 10, and 3 were the potentials. I don't hate a Paolo under points and assists deeper I look into it. '07 at DK, 28.5. Yeah, I do literally just moved to minus 111. I'm going to leave this as a strong lean for now just because Philly's – he should cook Philly, honestly. But there's the ball can go around a lot of different ways. Let's move on to Wagner. 24-27 and then just 17 2 nights ago versus Chicago. I've talked about Orlando a few times this year, and with the addition of Desmond Bane, I just said I kind of wanted to find some clarity with this team, and I think I have. It's like individual matchup wise, I think is who's going to get the most usage, the most points. I think all three of these guys have proved to be fairly unselfish. The attempts have been fairly spread out, 15, 17, 17. I do think Bane had a game where he was like at like 13 or 15. That might have been the Chicago game, but I feel like the field goal attempts are going to be very distributed. Any of these three guys that gets the hot hand, I think, could take over for the usage. I don't have any particular opinion on Fran's points. It was 12, 18, 14, 12. It's going to be a no play for all three of those Orlando stars for me. Just don't have a good read on any of the three. In all reality, kind of lean under PAs in all three of them. For all three of them, and I make the spread larger in this game as well. I think Orlando should be more than a 5.5 point favorite. I think this game has a lot better chance to get ugly than competitive. Maybe I have the wrong read, but I'm not going to force anything. Moving on to the Philly side of the ball, I actually have the problem is here. I have a few leans to the over as well. Oubre played quite well without PJ. Paul George, PG last year, and without Embiid. 37 minutes in the last game. Only 10 field goal attempts, though. Edge comes definitely Maxey under PRA. I think I would rather go. I don't think I want to touch Maxey. He can impact the game in a couple different ways. And I spoke on it just a little bit ago. Watching how the Magic have defended, I don't know if they're going to – I don't think they're going to blitz, but they're not going to let him get downhill. I don't think – if anything, if there's a little bit of a drop, Maxey's threes, if you wanted to go over – oh, you're looking at under. I was going to say threes, I think, if they do play the drop – just long enough to let the guard get back. It's almost like a double team, but the big does drop. If Maxey can come off of that and knock down those threes, I think those opportunities will be there. But I think they are going to limit his points. But if he's knocking down the three, that's definitely going to hurt. And also, I don't like the PRA unders because I think this could be like a 10 assist night for him. I lean over the assist. So Maxey's in a weird spot this game. I don't quite know how to. I don't know how Orlando's going to defend him. That's the big question mark in this one. Also, with Edgecombe playing very well, I think that does help Maxey. Kelly Olynyk is out. Kelly Oubre obviously not afraid to shoot the ball. I don't have a great read on this game on either side of the ball. A lot of new faces all around, right? VJ Edgecombe becoming a big part of this offense already. Kelly been there, Maxey been there. Don't know a lot about the starting center. I like Grimes over 14 and a half, 15 plus. This was pretty available. If he plays 30, 31 minutes and he had 14 field goal attempts for Charlotte. So if he's 10 plus, I love him at this number. I don't know if he's going to be 10 plus. Man, I don't know about that. Like, Edgecombe's looked okay. Grimes has had great spurts in his career. Oubre can shoot it. I'll give you that Oubre can be quite streaky, but it's not like he's got a group of plumbers around him. You know, there's some guys around him that can put the ball in the hole. So I will say Maxey's a hard read today, though. I mean, I'm going to probably escape this game with nothing. Have a couple leans for y'all, though. I do like Quentin Grimes points and threes over. If he plays 30 minutes a night until everybody's healthy, I think it should be a 17 and a half point line on his points, 18 and a half point line. Scored 24 last game, but then just 10 versus Boston on just 8 attempts. So a lot of these players are still finding out what their role is going to be. And then once PG comes back, the game's with and without Joel Embiid. Just a tough read for me overall. I'm not going to force this early into the season. So we're going to move on from the Orlando-Philly game. Cleveland-Detroit. Injury news, LeVert day-to-day. Garland's been out, still out. Ivy been out, still out. Not a lot going on in that one. Cleveland is coming off of a back-to-back. Played Milwaukee last night. It'll be interesting to see who starts on Donovan tonight. Duncan on Merrill makes sense to me. I don't know if they'll start Hunter on or Thompson on Hunter or Thompson on Donovan. I think Cade could cover Hunter or Hunter more so. I mean, obviously you could strap Merrill, but you got to hide Duncan Robinson somewhere. Storch, this is a good read. I like Mobley points over today. Garland is still out. Mobley's looked great this season. 18 and a half is the line. 22, 13, and 23. This Brooklyn game's a little tricky. They blitz a lot, so I thought it would be really good for Mobley. He had 4 3-point attempts, 12. I don't know why he had the dud there. Let's see how he performed in back-to-backs last season. Over an 8 of 13. Split the games without Garland. First back-to-back. I will say, wouldn't be surprised if there's a rest or two snuck in here. Like maybe DeAndre Hunter or someone rests. Wouldn't be surprised. Which would be a boost for Mobley as well. I don't think it'll be Allen or Mobley. Hold on, Twitter's going off. Let's make sure this isn't Underdog NBA with some news. Shout outs, Jamie. I appreciate the like, brother. Y'all helping me grow the brand. I really do appreciate y'all. No new NBA news. Okay. Mobley overs, huh? We'll have to leave it as a lean to the over, Storch. I do lean over, but I think this number is pretty close to correct. Yeah, nothing on Mobley. Allen, I think, is a similar breed. Got a tough matchup versus Jalen Duran. Could end up getting Duran into foul trouble, though. I think Jalen Duran PR unders actually are tempting. We'll get into that. But for Allen, nothing. Thinking about how one thing I like to do. Let's do this. Is there anyone similar? Because Vucevic doesn't really dive to the basket the same. Let's go watch a couple, though, just to see how they defended the pick and roll. If we can get it to load here. This shit's not working. I got too many things going on. Nothing standing out on Jared Allen here either. We're going to move on from Jared Allen. No points, rebounds, assists, no overs, no unders. Jared Allen, nope. Jalen Duran PR unders, I think, are interesting. It's a difficult matchup with Allen and Mobley. And if they're not on here, I can't. Damn. Line's 23.5. Other books, some books are at 24.5. Let's go see how this one's moved. We cashed his PR unders last game, or maybe the game before. Yeah, 2 games ago. That was due to a foul out, not necessarily banking on that here. PRA unders, not a lot of books even open yet because his assist line is so low. The reason I like PRA unders is some books will do the alternate lines on the PRA unders. So I'll keep my eye out for Jalen Duran. PRs and PRA unders are definitely a lean. Yo, I think this look right here is sneaky as fuck. Isaiah Stewart to record a 3, 2-1 and 2, 2-3 and 2. So he shot very efficient. Look, they've been wide open shots in almost every situation. So at plus 135, I do not hate this look at all. I'll give Props.cash a refresh to see if anyone else is open. Merrill under 12.5. Sam Merrill. I'm not touching that until I know for sure DeAndre Hunter's playing. I've heard rumors that he could be a rest candidate. Still no other books up yet. Definitely lean over Stewart threes there as well. We're just waiting for more lines to pop up. I'm telling y'all, I'm very tempted on this Cade PRA's under. I might run this right now. I'm logging in. We're gonna. $40.5, 114. I've got $40.5, 109 at DK. Rollins had 26 for Milwaukee. Not a good sign. McBride had 18. Shoutouts WVU. Brunson 32. And then playoffs last year. I'm gonna leave Cade under. That does look nasty. I'm gonna leave Cade under as a lean right now, but PRAs are definitely a strong lean for Cade. Shit, I haven't even put anything in the banner. Let me at least get Kelsey up there. And again, y'all, it's early season. If you feel like there's less plays than last year, it's just because it's early season, man. I'm not forcing anything. Got to get the data, got to get the reads right. Up 9 units, so while it's slow, it's profitable. Known Duncan Robinson hater. Nah, I don't hate him for real. I just, when people try to compare him to Malik Beasley, it pisses me off. I do lean under 2.5 threes there for Duncan. That's something you'd never hear me say about Malik. Be like over 10.5, and I'd take it. Lonzo assists. I don't hate it. I think I saw it's 4.5. Lonzo Ball. The minutes, I think where his minutes, where we see them is where they stay. I think that 4.5 line is just a hair too high for the minutes he's playing. So I'm going to stay off of it, but I don't hate it. Also, don't hate his threes, man. He's chucked. Once we get a lineup, 7 in that first game, just 2, and then 4 last game. But 4 attempts, if we get like a 1.5 line, keep an eye out for Alonzo threes line. That's something I could be interested in as well. Tobias Harris, 18 in the last game. Over his rebounds in every game, but this is his most difficult matchup with Mobley. Potentials are way up. 165 is nasty. Not a lot of other lines. I'm not mad at a plus 2.5 assists for Tobias. There's not a lot of lines up in this Detroit game. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, Storch, that plus 135 at MGM, I do like. That's a strong lean for me. That's the only book I think I see with that line open yet. Let me see Tobias assists, if it's open more players or not. His potentials are way through the roof in the last 2 games. Not seeing a lot of lines in general. No. Keep an eye out for Tobias assists closer to tip-off. I definitely could see myself on that. A sneakier look. 36 minutes last game out of Thompson. His scoring role looks to be going up. 11 versus Chicago, but then 19 versus Houston. Remember, that was the brother-on-brother matchup. 21 versus Boston. Again, a more difficult matchup for his game with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen kind of clogging up the center there. But Houston had the double big lineup, and he still gave them 19 in just 24 minutes. Huge usage percentage in that game. He probably falls right around where his average is right now at 21.5. Not mad at a points over, not mad. Definitely not mad at an assists over. Not mad at this either. Probably lean over Ausar Thompson PAs. Would probably leave that as a lean as well. A couple leans in this Detroit game. Cade PRA unders is probably my closest thing to a straight bet. Waiting for more Jalen Duren lines to pop up. I'm interested in this PRA over under when it's fully available. And then same can be said about Tobias Harris assists. I know it's noon, but I'd expect most of these lines to be out that aren't. So any minute now, I'm looking for Tobias assists, Jalen Duren PRAs, both unders in the Cleveland-Detroit game. Boston and the Pelicans. This game is Pelicans minus 1.5, totals 233. Boston's coming off a back-to-back. So don't be surprised if you see a rest spot for one of their players. Zion, look at this. This is what we've been waiting for. 37 minutes out of Zion. Boston's depleted, man. I don't know. I think I could get behind this. NBA news, hold up. Dylan Brooks, president shoot-around for the Suns, who's been just absolutely spraying, chucking as well. Zion Williamson, 26.5. I like this line. $39.5 painted on his PRA overs. I'm not mad at that either. 17 and 19 rebound chances in the last 2 games, 7 and 9 potential assists, 33% usage in each of those games. See, we're getting a Zion we haven't had in years. We're getting a Zion with the usage, with the minutes that we haven't seen in years. We are getting a Zion we haven't seen in years. Another rookie, right? Center for the Celtics, power forward, whatever he is. I saw him. I was watching some film on the Celtics earlier. I think he had 2 field goals last game. Not sure what his minutes were. Two days rest. I think they could smoke the fuck out of. I like the Pelicans money line here, or the -1, -2. Celtics are on a back-to-back on the road. Pelicans coming off 2 days rest. That's the other big thing. I think I gotta run Zion's over. Shout outs to that Monday Night Football post, dude. 417 likes already. I appreciate y'all. You're going crazy on that. Fuck. We're just getting a Zion, like I said, we haven't seen in years. Like 30 minutes, 30% usage. Who's the next best option there? Jordan Poole? Grow the fuck up. They don't even have anybody they can blitz with. You know what I mean? Like, because look, I got all the respect in the world for their coach, West Virginia guy, but how do you game plan for this? White can't guard him, Pritchard can't guard him, Gonzalez can't guard him, Jaylen Brown can't guard him, Queta can't guard him. Hold on, NFL trade. Rams get McKinney and a 6 for a Titans 5th. All right, pretty not that important. They got no one that can guard Zion. Let's go. Shit, what did I do? Yeah, I'm going Zion's points over right now. I'll find the best line. 26.5. Even money. Where was that 26.5 even money? I got 05 at ESPN, Hard Rock, 08 at FanDuel. plus 0.5 at Novig. The liquidity is probably trash. Plus even money at ProfitX. There might be some decent liquidity between those two exchanges. This line does appear to be moving against me a little bit, but man, I like it. Pull points in threes. I feel like he's a lot harder to get his usage projection. Let's move on from Zion, but I'm going to be on something Zion's over. There's no one on this team that can defend him. Pritchard's coming off of a huge game. What did he play? 34 minutes. Buzzy, you were asking about trying to – this is NBA really, but I think this is a good metric to figure out what you're going to get out of Peyton Pritchard this year, 29-plus minutes. We can do without Tatum. Last season, over in 6 and 9, averaged 22 per game. Last 10, over in 12 of 17. Although you can see here, it looks not near as good. He also had 10 rebounds last game, Peyton Pritchard did. That was surprising to me. Nah, nothing there. Nothing on Peyton Pritchard for me today. Jaylen Brown wouldn't surprise me if he's a rest candidate on the back-to-back, but then again, I expect him to play. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Expect him to give it a go, though. We can see 41% usage in the last game. Minutes have been pretty stuck on 35, 36. 9 threes attempted last game. 18, 18, and 25 field goal attempts. With 17-plus field goal attempts and without Tatum, he's over in 8 of his last 10, averaging 29.1 per game. No one on the Pelicans can guard him. Even like if they go Zion, it's still not a great matchup for Zion. He's too quick. Damn, I like Brown's over as well. For now, lean over JB and Zion's points. I might have an SGP for this one. Trey Murphy, I think, could be a beneficiary of the Celtics needing to throw everything at Zion Williamson. I honestly think if you're the Celtics, though, you might approach this game with the idea of let's let Zion do his thing and let no one else beat us. And that honestly, in my head, might be the best thing they could do. So that could be good or bad for Trey Murphy. I have no clue what to think for Trey today. I leaned over. I forget if it was last game or the game before. Must have been last game. Over the line was 18.5. Yeah, he finished with 24 versus San Antonio. Much, much, much different matchup, though. I think this one just has Zion wrote all over it. even if they, converge down on him, it's either the assists or just a shit pile of free throws. Poole 17, 21, 41 minutes in the last game, 7 and 9 were his 3-point attempts, 14 and 20 were his field goal attempts. I think that's pretty fair, actually. No, at this point in the season, all I have in my head is Zion right here. This is a Zion spot. I think it's a Zion spot, and I think it's a Jaylen Brown spot. I think each team's going to have a very difficult time defending the other superstar. I think this one could go 30 and 30. I think each of these guys are good for 30 tonight. Anthony Simmons, I forget how you say it. He's an interesting spot. I went back and I watched some film, and it's Simons. Man, he's looking to shoot. He wasn't super efficient last game. I want to say it was 5 for 13. Yeah, 5 for 13, but I thought he had some good shots, and his bad shots were not very bad. They were just aggressive. I think there's a lot of upside for Simons, maybe not in this game, but all season. So, yeah, just something to keep your eye on. Maybe the threes, too. I understand the line being at 2.5. He was willing to chuck last game. So I think he's got plus side on the season. Maybe not anything for me in this matchup. Although, back to back, he hasn't played a lot of minutes yet. Would not be surprised. Only 22 minutes last game. If Simons plays 30 minutes tonight, I'm not surprised. And if he throws 20 in, I'm also not surprised. Outside of the 2 stars, that's probably the only lean I have in that game. Toronto and the Spurs. Jakob Poeltl just cannot stay out of foul trouble this season. 14, 6, and 4. His points line's at 8.5. These minutes, at first, my big concern was they just weren't playing him. No, 6, 5, and 5. The dude can't stay out of foul trouble. Now he's going up against Wemby. I don't know if that's if it's going to make his night any easier. Not that Wemby's necessarily a foul baiter, but it's just such a difficult matchup. Yeah, it's hard for me to back Poeltl here. He just stays in foul trouble. Wemby obviously just changing the game. I mean, was it last night? Yeah, coming off 0 days rest, double block, come down and drain one from the logo to end the half. He's on some other shit this year. On a back-to-back, I don't know. I actually wouldn't be surprised if his minutes are reduced. They're only 4.5-point favorites versus Toronto. First back-to-back of the season in San Antonio has been historically careful, especially with their stars. Maybe the only transgression I have in backing Wemby in this game. I'm big on Stephon Castle until the Fox comes back, although I think Fox is due back any day now. They keep saying he's out with a hamstring, which implies to me he's almost ready to come back. So look for that to change at any point. Scotty Barnes, we cashed a PAs. Yeah, I want to say that was opening night versus Atlanta. You can see his usage skyrocketed versus Dallas, while Brandon Ingram's had the, highest usage on the season. So I'll be interested to see how those two go back and forth. I think this team can be very similar to Orlando while not on the same caliber. You've got Ingram, you've got Scotty, you've got RJ Barrett, my apologies. And they're coming off a back-to-back as well. Not going to have any real reads in this one. We can talk about the injury report. Fox, as I said, out. Sochan out. Kelly Olynyk, I think I saw he was announced out, but don't quote me on that. And if he is, maybe that is more minutes for Wemby. I don't know. I don't have a good read on this game. I'm not going to force anything. 2 teams coming off of 2 teams on the back end of a back-to-back. This one could get ugly. Storch says quickly over 16.5. Man, they've got four guys that can put the ball in the hole. And I don't have a good feeling on any of the 4 tonight. I don't think anyone has a stellar matchup. Schematically or individually. So going to be nothing for me in that game. We got a lot to get to today, so we're just going to keep moving. Atlanta, Chicago. Giddey is questionable, so that's obviously that offense is rolling around him. So on the Chicago side of the ball, it's going to be hard for me to spot anything. Chicago comes into this game 2.5-point underdogs. I think that line says to me Giddey's playing. I'm not mad at Jalen Johnson over his assists. It was plus money this morning, still plus money, plus 118. It's 15 potentials in the first game, just 7 in the last. Usage stayed similar, around 22%. So not an official play for me, but I'm not mad at it. Not mad at our Porzingis points or threes. Threes, the price is just too crazy, though. You almost got to let him play one or two, let this line come back to reality. Missed the last 2 with illness. If you remember last year, he had the crazy illness that really messed him up in the playoffs. One second here. Really messed him up in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm afraid to back him just yet. With the illness and everything. I just don't know. Not mad at anything. PA Jalen Johnson. Also not mad at a Trey's over assists. I think this line moved. Yeah, never mind. That line moved too far. If you got the 9.5 last night, early this morning, though, I'm not mad at it. Buzeli's my worst call of the season. Yeah, I bet is over there. That's on me. I'll take that one to the chin. Hand up, that's on me. Got to be better. But nothing in this game. We're waiting on news for Josh Giddey anyway, so we're going to move on. Brooklyn, Houston, 14.5-point spread. They blitz, pick and rolls. Just kind of a rule for me. I never really attack these spots. Yeah, nothing for me in that game. Should be a disaster class. We've got some injury news, I think, that we're waiting for in the OKC game. Exum, Gafford, Williams, none of that's big news, though. Chet day-to-day. Does that mean Chet is out, though? Anthony Edwards out at least 2 weeks, which is great. He was like my number 2 pick in fantasy basketball. Chet is still questionable. Last I've got. I like Shea's under assists in this one. I do like Shea's under assists. I'm actually going to run this. I'm going to run Shea's assists under 6.5 right now. First NBA bet of the day. Let me go make sure that this is available. And honestly, I'm probably betting Zion's over low-key. And then I'm just waiting on a few unders to pop onto the board. Yeah, Shea under 6.5 minus 110 at Hard Rock. Get that in there. AJ over his PAs. Is Wallace out? AJ Mitchell, right? What's the injury report like here? OKC's had some guards on and off. Caruso's out tonight. Joe's out. I'm not mad at AJ Mitchell over anything. They're so deep, they being OKC, man. You can plug and play any of those like role bench guys, and they just fit in so well. I'm not mad at AJ over anything. What did you say over his points and assists? I'm not mad at it. I think this one could get ugly for Dallas too. I'm not a believer in this Dallas team yet. I could see AJ getting some getting some blowaway minutes. You see here 14, 38, 28. So it's been pretty dependent on who's playing around him. They're coming off a 1 day's rest, so yeah, I would lean Chet doesn't go. The rest of the guards play. Well, obviously besides Caruso and Joe. I lean over here. I don't hate it. I'm not mad at an AJ Mitchell over. Just not an official play out of me. Anthony Davis was talking about his conditioning. He's in a pretty difficult matchup here, whether it's AD or I'm sorry, whether it's Chet or if Chet doesn't go. I guess the other Jalen Williams would start next to Hardenstein. What does RotoWires have projected? They've got Chet in there as questionable. Okay. Not the easiest matchup for Anthony Davis, but honestly, I don't have a lean points or rebounds over or under, to be honest. I think his lines are pretty efficient. That's all I got to say about that. PJ Washington, you heard JJ Redick talking about making sure PJ's on the floor. He's just a great piece for them. Every once in a while, he'll have those breakout 3-point nights. OKC is normally one of them. I think PJ's threes is a decent spot. I went over the Philly game. I'm not mad at anything on VJ. It's just hard. That game's hard for me to spot. I like VJ better than Maxey in that one. I think Orlando, that'll be their focus is Maxey. VJ rookie, 4th game, not a lot of film on him yet. I'm not mad at anything there. Clay's banned. He's just a bum, you know. I mean, shout outs. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's past his prime. Nothing there. I think D'Lo should be getting more minutes in Dallas. They've got clear point guard struggles. He played 29 minutes last game, scored 24 points, knocked in 2 threes on 7 attempts. Would love to see D'Lo get more run in Dallas. A point guard is exactly what they need. Cooper Flagg, I thought he's looked okay for a rookie. 10, 18, and 22. Definitely got some bounce to his game. Definitely going to be a good NBA player. I like Edgecombe as a better player today. But Flagg looks like he's got all the intangibles. He's just definitely not a point guard. And I think they're holding him back, trying to make him that primary ball handler. Yeah. That's going to be it for this game, though. Shea's under is going to be the only official play. Yep, that's it. Phoenix, Utah. Man, good luck with this game. I think it's like close to a pick'em, which is just a sad state of affairs for where Phoenix is now compared to what their expectations were last year. Yeah, Utah is actually a -1.5 point favorite in this one. How did Kyle do in his last game? 9 and 10. How many threes? He had 2 in the last one. I'm not mad at any Kyle Filipowski threes over. I'm not mad at anything Keontae George today. Is Collier still out? 33 minutes last game. Definitely not mad at a Keontae George double-double at plus 354 as a little sprinkle. I like that, and comparatively, like if you wanted another plus money prop to pair with it, in that OKC game, like a PJ Washington threes over. I don't hate those as some plus money sneaky looks. Brooks, I saw went through shoot around. I think maybe his questionability was the reason for the line movement this morning. You can see he's been chucking from 3, and Utah does not defend the 3 well at all. I think this line's probably – I think there's some value to the over here. Just the way he's been shooting, if he gets 10 to 12 attempts, I don't hate the idea of him getting 3. Grayson Allen. All right, this one's played out. We played 2.5 earlier in the season, and then played a 4+. Now the straight line's 4+. That's probably just closer to where it should be. Moving on to Detroit, Denver, Minnesota. I got to kind of fly through these because I do have a haircut. I've been needing to get that shit over. Not mad at Bryce anything. Kessler PRs. They've got no center. Yeah, I'm not mad at a Walker PR. I know he only had 12 last game, but he played his 30 minutes, and this looks like a cupcake matchup versus Phoenix. I'm not mad at that one bit, Night Fox. I'm not mad at that one bit. Not an official play for me, but I'm not mad at that one bit. I'm going to move on, try to get through the last of these games, just anything that I really like. And then I got to get out of here, go get my hair cut. And, finally, your boy's been looking homeless. Denver, Minnesota, we just saw that Ant is out. That line's now 6.5 points to Denver's favorite. I'm not mad at like a Julius Randle over. Rudy's still there. I'm going to smash this at Bet Rivers right now. Going to smash this at Bet Rivers right now. We're looking at Jokic PRA unders. 50.5 minus 124. Yeah, I'm probably going to go 2. I'm going to go 2 units there. If you got to run the 49.5, go 1. Logging in. Hurry up. All right, I got that in there. 1.5 units. Love that. Love that. Love that. All right, I love that Jokic spot a lot. Difficult matchup versus Minnesota, and I think this one has the potential to get ugly. I don't hate Jamal Murray points over. Anthony Edwards out now, so the guard rotation will switch up a little bit for Minnesota. 25 and 23 in these 2 games. I think he's got a lot easier matchup. I think Dante will start. Pardon me, probably start on him. Oh, without Anthony Edwards, they'll go Mike Conley. And Mike's old, man. Yeah, I like Jamal Murray overs. I think his volume's going to be there. Yeah, I think he's going to have 17 plus field goal attempts again tonight. I like Jamal Murray over points. I'm leave it as a lean, but it's pretty strong. Ant's out. I'm not mad. Like, we'll have to see what the lines open up on a Julius Randle, but something I'm willing to look into. Memphis Golden State. I know we've got some injuries here. Anything new? Horford out, Jerome been out, Pippen been out, Clark been out, Williams been out, Edey been out. My thoughts here, Steph absolutely cooks Memphis. Maybe it was just the last game. Okay, it was just the last game. He put 52 on him in April, 36 minutes, 23-point attempts, made 12 of them. Madness. This season, over in 2 of 3, only played 27 minutes in the game versus Portland, still had 14 3-point attempts. He's had 9 or more 3-point attempts in every game. Memphis plays with a lot of pace, allows a lot of threes. $26.5 is pretty painted here. I would lean over for Curry here. Lonzo Ball injury management listed out. Anyone in the Chicago on the Chicago game? Cade Cunningham probable for Monday. That's all I've got new. Lonzo Ball out though. So very, very, very curious. Karis LeVert listed out for Cleveland. Very curious on Josh Giddey. Have him in fantasy as well as just betting purposes. Marcus Sasser, hip questionable for Monday. We're getting some NBA news dropping here. Nothing official here for Curry, but I might be on that. Lakers coming off of a back-to-back. Ayton played really well. It's versus Portland. As a Lakers fan, I'm worried. I mean, Reeves looked incredible last game. His line's now 28.5, though. Well, yeah, the Lakers' first back-to-back. Don't be surprised if you see a rest here as well. I think we're going to call it there. We'll have 2 NBA plays, 1 NFL, a bunch of leans. Don't be surprised if you see something new pop up. Stuart, you're always asking me about nobodies. Good for you, but no opinions there this early into the season. Let me get my 2 NBA plays put up here on the banner, and then I am going to get out of here, go get my hair cut, and be ready for tomorrow. Under 50.5. Yeah. All right. We're going to call it there. I'm going to get out of here. Got some errands to run today, but glad to be back. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix this camera long enough to go live for just a second here. All right. Honestly, it's still blurry as shit. I tried to take the blurry off. Doesn't matter. Real quick, we're going to recap today. I'm going to get out of here, and then we'll be back tomorrow for the sharp side at noon Eastern. Hold on. We might have some NBA news. No, we're good. All right, just 3 plays for me today. I got Travis Kelce in the NFL, 40-plus receiving yards. Beard is getting trimmed up as well, too, Storch. Yes, everything's getting cut up. I mean, I usually got a fade, y'all. I mean, that's just – it'll be fixed today. Travis Kelce over 40-plus receiving yards. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 6.5 assists. And Nikola Jokic under 50.5 PRAs. Coming off of a 4-2 NFL Sunday and a 2-0 NBA Sunday. Hopefully we can stack some bread today. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you haven't already, drop a like, drop a retweet. Help me grow the brand. Help me grow the page. Best of luck today. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, man, let's go.